there are four people, not to talk over each other. This is like, for me at least, so difficult.
Yeah, if people talk over each other, I usually just mute Matt. That's an easy fix.
Welcome to the Work for a Euro podcast. Sup, fuckers?
What's going on?
Good evening.
I thought you couldn't make it.
I was just kidding, man.
Albert's always on time.
I was all ready to go. I was all fired up. Now I can just sit back and relax.
Nope, you can't say that.
What?
Well,
Oh, you said it to Albert once, and you were like, "Mr. Perfect, you can't make an episode without editing everything." And then you were like, "Nope, you can't say that."
Yeah, are you gonna make a soundbite out of that?
Yeah, I want to. I just need a free minute. Everything's crazy right now.
Oh, how come?
Just busy. Moved into the new shop, and you think you got like everything. It's all moved in and shit, but then you gotta figure out like the workflow, and you end up moving shit around, and
Yeah.
somebody keeps selling shit that he doesn't have anymore, so you have to send out orders for him.
It's really annoying at the moment.
I need to find some time and put everything online,
It's a luxury problem.
but we'll make it work for now. Get everybody's orders out somehow. So what about Albert? You've been busy?
sure.
Are you eating again?
Yes.
So I was.
Can you tell?
Oh yeah, he was muted, and I was like, I bet he's chewing something.
You can go back to chewing, and we can introduce the guest.
Yeah, who is our guest this week?
Some guy from Lithuania.
I think he's Kamon's competitor now, like with the amount of times being on.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be on here. It's the third time. It's Paulius from Baltic Blades. It's been a while, guys. And also,
Yeah.
I've never been on the same podcast as Matt. So nice to meet you.
That's a first, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I know you already because obviously I listened to all the episodes. So
Yeah, the last one was like almost 2 hours, I think.
yeah,
Or-
Mhm.
yeah, it was a long one. So, yeah, how have you been all? Matt, how are you?
yeah. I'm good. I'm good. Busy. The family life is just busy at the moment. So, oh fuck, they're all muted. Do I have to talk to myself? Yeah. Shit. Well, yeah. Life is good. Life is good.
So, looking for new businesses to level up?
Yeah, or level down.
Oh, yeah, the
Depends on how
air
you look at
fryer
it.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like knee deep in air fryers right now.
Yeah, I am, and it's pretty awesome. It's just amazing. Like, I'm not making a shit ton of money, but it's pretty wicked to see that just by running some ads, what you can do, and how many sales you can harken.
But does it work?
It works, yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, I was
Yeah.
listening to the last episode and like coming from the standpoint, as a business owner, I'm very interested, like from your standpoint, when you're looking like at other businesses, where you said they have these, where they offer to sell their business. And
Yeah.
to what key metrics are you looking at? Because if I am a reseller of air fryers, the very first thing that I would do is like generic internet marketing, buying ads, buying
Yeah,
low-key
exactly.
influencers, and etc. And
Yeah.
if that doesn't work, because these are the lowest hanging fruits and I cannot maintain the business, then I go and try and sell this business. And from your standpoint, at what, these lowish hanging fruits do you look for in a business to level up?
I'm looking at basically websites that have proven themselves, but they're not in the massive way. So they've run a campaign, like an advertisement campaign, and it worked. And they just when people think that drop shipping is like the easiest thing on the planet, they just think like, oh, let's just fucking drop ships and shit, and then I'm gonna get filthy rich, which is
Resell
ridiculous.
shit from China.
Yeah, but it's insane because they think that they're going to get filthy rich with doing nothing, but obviously it doesn't work like that. And so people start it and they think they can just run one website and sit on the couch and wait for those kind of those coin signs to drop. You know, like, oh yeah, now I'm gonna move to fucking Ibiza or whatever.
But your idea is to get
buy one of those Cybertrucks.
Yeah, buy those and be filthy rich.
But no, it's buy those websites and then turn it into something else. Basically, that's what it's gonna be.
So I want to know how you're gonna tie it into the DIY though. You're gonna make some like kit where you can pimp out your air fryer and shit?
It's not even a main thing. It's a side thing for me. Like my brothers-in-law are running that business. Fry Europe. Yeah, that's a good one. He just typed in fucking Fry Europe.
So
fucking hell. Yeah. Okay, that caught me off guard.
Just a new name.
Yeah, Fry Europe. No, so it's not my main thing. I doubt it's going to be my main thing. I'm just going to help those guys, set it up. And I mean, if it turns out that I'm like needed full time on it, and we crack the code, then obviously I'm gonna do it. But for now, it's just fun to dive into.
But does it generate some revenue?
Yes.
No. Already. Okay.
It's already like the website and everything is paying for itself. And we're not spending more on ads than revenue comes in. So yeah, we're making money, but like it's not. I can't sit on the couch yet.
Yeah, everybody still needs to know where to find you if they're looking for air fryers. Or else.
I think there's a lot there's a lot that you can do if you go from the stupid reselling thing, the actual drop shipping, and then just go into keeping stock of the things that run well instead of just blasting those orders through right away from China or whatever you're getting it from.
Yeah, Shopify has a setting like that where you can it'll go through all your products and put them into categories for like top selling and what's your most income making and profit margin.
Because it's the actual shipping that is killing the entire.
Oh, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense. Oh, so you are basically
okay. So if I'll just
any returns you get like kill you.
So mass shipping, to get something in stock, you reduce the expenditure on the shipping. So then you increase your profit margins by keeping some stock.
So we're just you can look at it as it's just a testing environment. So whenever one product is just going like, and you can see that coming. You just know that if I put more into ads, more is gonna come out of it. So it's basically hitting, or it cracked a code somewhere and it's going viral. Then I'm just gonna buy a shit ton of those and keep them in stock and then just ship them from here, and that'll.
Yeah, those kind of advertisements don't work for like
no.
This
is just in your face.
You never hit your target audience with those things.
No, the only thing I would like for DIY Europe or now for you, Keith, is I would look into that SEO thing. So where people, because Knife Maker just Google whatever the hell they want to have and then just go for that. They're not scrolling TikTok or Facebook and just, I'm going to buy a grinder. No, it doesn't work like that.
What kind of ads are we talking
now?
about? Now,
Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
So no Google ads. Though.
Not yet, no. But we're gonna do that.
You need to put it into like a food magazine.
Yeah,
or something
and we
like
also do a lot with like posting recipes of stuff and reels of the stuff being made in those air fryers, and
Keith, did you ever do any kind of Facebook ads or Google ads or Instagram ads for knife material?
I did some, like, when you got like a free chance for, I don't know what it was, like $20 worth of ads or something stupid. But I think for a material supplier, definitely it's not worth it, because your ad is never gonna make it to any of your customers.
I think in Europe, what you have to make sure is that whenever someone is Googling something, you have to be on top.
Yeah, but that's a SEO thing, right?
I think that's worth your while.
Part of it, yeah.
It's part of it, exactly. It's not the entire thing.
That's actually how we get a lot of our customers, because they Google, just message me or whatever, and they find us.
If you know how that works, and from what I've told, it's basically just wording in your product pages and stuff.
Yeah, it's not just wording; it's also reviews on Google. If you have tons of Google reviews to rank you higher,
and having an actual shop also works, even if you're not like it's not your main thing. Just having a shop, like your website listed as an actual shop, also puts it up there.
Yeah, you have to register as a shop and like prove, like show them a bill with the address on it.
It's weird because I sell the Tormek stuff, and I don't sell a shit ton of it, but it's just one item that I keep selling, which it makes no sense that people. Yeah, and it's just, and then I think that the way I have it on my website or whatever, it's just the thing that pops up first, and people just keep buying it.
Okay,
it's the compound, item? The honing compound.
Really?
Yeah, and it makes no sense at all.
See, I just used a name that actually told people what I did. So when somebody searches for knife materials, they don't even know they're looking for my store. They just type in knife material because they're looking for handles or blade or whatever. And I'm like way up on the top.
Smart man.
And then Matt tried to buy knifematerial.com and found out that it was already gone.
In Austria already bought it.
A long time ago, I was always going to set up the .com as the English version, and it's just with Shopify, it was such a pain in the ass to try and do that. So right now it just redirects. Better. Yeah, so I sent some videos of my shop and like how things were going, setting it up to Mr. Baltic Blades. And I got like a half hour later, some like assembly line production setup that he wanted me to get computerized, that like does your label, picks your package up, turns it over for you, applies the tape.
You need
barcode
a couple everything. Of those Tesla robots.
Yeah,
great.
That is the last part where you want to start. Actually,
just get one of those fucking robots.
No, that's against all sense. Where you need to start with automation very last, and first you need to improve your process. And I feel like the flashy stuff is what gets the attention, but like the simple stuff, like the 3D printed sticker holders are like brilliant. It's easy to pick up the stickers and put it into the packaging to make it more efficient, faster, and take less of your precious time. So it was just some small ideas,
But I would start looking into it. I would spend hours online. I'd end up buying a new 3D printer. Then my stickers, you change a sticker, you got to do it over again. I would get sidetracked and be into like 15 different projects.
That's why you need to start with the small stuff. That's why my second question was why the grinder parts are at the very back. Because that looks like a far away for a heavy object to be. But you have a reason for that. But it's a small improvement.
I didn't take the time to fucking respond on it, but I that's one of the things that I thought as well. That's why is this there? Because that's the heaviest stuff. That's it's not I would put that as close as possible, and then at a height you don't need to fucking bend over to get it.
You are making sense. You are making sense, man.
But that's what I did. But I did that's by trial and error. I found that out.
Yeah. No, mine's furthest away because the shelving that I have that can hold the most weight is the longest ones. And so I couldn't put it in the front, or you have to walk around it all the time.
Yep. Makes sense. He's going to move the forge parts to somewhere else because they go a lot harder now.
I still got to go through and get the sharpening jig thing all set up. And
what do you do? The sharpening jig. So you are selling a separate sharpening jig?
Yeah, there's one that goes on your grinder. Have you seen this one before?
The Brian House X Tyrell one, or you're
Yes,
talking something
that one.
different? Ah.
No, that one.
Yeah,
Exactly
I saw
that one.
I saw that. You are selling that.
So basically like a Tormek for your belt grinder.
I need one of those.
I mean, I have a whole bunch of them here, but they're just not online yet.
He has a shit ton of those.
Does it work with a contact wheel, or how does it work, the sharpening jig?
Yeah, you can
Whatever
put it
you
on
like.
whatever. It just goes into your tooling arm receiver, the bottom one, and then you can basically set it everywhere on your grinder.
Pretty much
Tormek
like the Tormek just for your belt grinder.
I love my Tormek.
And you can do like swords and shit and long stuff on it.
Is it that long?
That's what she said.
That's what. Thank you.
I get that a lot.
You wish.
I've never gotten that ever.
It's very good that I'm on the show, and I wanted to ask some help from all of you three. Because I'm going on May on my very first show as a knife maker on the Knife Show Austria. And maybe do you have some tips or suggestions or advice for new makers who go on shows? What not to do and what to do? How to have a good exposition of your stuff?
First, you have to get a table next to the Salzburg Messerschmitt. So that's a good place to start.
Yeah, but he managed to do that already, right? So
Keith got me.
I've heard that you're next to us, so we're very much looking
I
forward
wrote
to it.
to Huber and told him, put me in the cool kids corner. And apparently, you're cool kids.
I'd say don't have too high expectations of how much you're going to sell. Have fun. Go there for the social stuff, not so much for business. If you do that, then everything's going to be good because it's always a lot of fun. But we've been to a couple of knife shows, and with knives, it's a tough business because there's like a lot of competition at these knife shows if you're only selling knives. Maybe bring some accessories which other knife makers need or might need. This might help a bit with business. And enjoy the show. I mean, that's what we're there for. And come and visit us after the show. Mr. Baltic Plates. Then we can do a hammer in at our shop.
I would love that. I would love that.
Sure, it's an hour drive to our shop from where Knife Show Austria is going to be. So
It's like 18 hours drive for us or 14 hours drive for us. So an hour seems like nothing.
see, and then we can have a good time at our shop after the knife show. So even if business wasn't that good, then we can have some fun at
I
our
would
shop.
focus on networking more than the selling.
Yeah.
Talking to everyone, just being there, getting to know all the people.
Yeah, that's what I meant with the social stuff.
It's so
right?
important.
So my setup's going to be a little different than you. Like some of the advice I give you, the first thing would be to like not overclutter your table like crazy, which is kind of what I do because I sell all these different materials. But as a knife maker, it's sometimes if the table's too crazy, it's hard to focus on what's there for sale. You know what I mean? Like if you have all these crazy accessories there and cutting boards and stuff all over the place. I think presentation is really important, but you want to drive their eye to the knife immediately and not to all the crap everywhere around it. But I also think a table with just a bunch of knives thrown on it also doesn't look too
40
good either.
knives look way too much.
Some people just come in and they just like lay 6 knives on the table, sit down behind the desk and cross their arms. Like wonder why they don't sell anything.
And from what I've seen at knife shows is that a bit cheaper EDCs do way better than like fancy expensive kitchen knives, right? So but that's in your ballpark anyway, right?
Baltic ballpark.
So,
It's in his Baltic park.
So,
What is a price for a cheap EDC? What are you talking, like 250, 300?
150 to 300 euros, I'd say, right?
Oh wow, that's my price point.
But that's something that I would buy,
Yeah,
on
that's
the
what
show.
I thought. Yeah,
That's something
Exactly.
that would be like,
Right.
oh fuck, I'll buy that, and like a 700 euro chef knife or even more. It's just I'm going to take my time buying something like that. I'm not just deciding that on the Saturday. So.
Yeah. But ForgeWorks, for instance, at Knife and Soling, ForgeWorks sells a lot of knives, right? And that's because he does these affordable EDCs. I don't want to say cheap because they ain't cheap, but they're affordable, right? So that's something you might buy at a show. But as Matt said, I mean, spending €1,000 on an Apex Ultra Chef knife, that's a bit difficult at a knife show, I think.
He spends a lot of time networking outside of the knife community, like with hunters and people who do paintball and then like all that kind of sport things where people would like to probably have a knife and carry it, but it's not directly only knife stuff. So he has a lot of people that come to the shows that know him through those groups.
Yeah, very interesting points actually. A lot to take home. I'm like still trying to visualize how I should set up the table itself. You need to look approachable. You need to, don't sit with your crossed arms or whatever. You need to talk with the clientele and create those connections. I'm, of course, more interested in connections with distribution and distributors. That would be pretty cool and interesting. Of course, and other knife makers, but, it's still a huge trip, and that is pretty interesting and exciting.
Are you driving?
Yes, we are driving. We are taking a week of vacation, and I'm driving with my fiance to Austria to do the show and maybe go around Austria, visit some makers. I really want to visit Benjamin, come on, Albert. I will visit at your shop, and we will see who is also willing to let in a spy from the Baltics.
Sounds like a good time.
I'm really excited about that actually.
Yeah.
Because we don't have like these bigger knife makers here in Lithuania. And my only experience was by visiting a Polish knife show, the Central Europe Knife Exhibition. But it still feels like, your home backyard. It's not like these big stars,
But what's the name of the knife line that you have where all the Kydex sheaths are pretty much like interchangeable, where you could just change to a different sheath?
All my knives. Yep.
All of them.
It's the biggest plus and the biggest minus for me. But yeah, all of my knives can use Kydex sheaths interchangeably.
So is there some way you can show that at your table? Like maybe just lay out the line of different kinds of sheaths that you have and a few of the knife, like with different coatings on it or different finishes. And that's like your talking point when people come up, that you can just pick up any sheath and it fits.
I have this idea of actually bringing just raw parts to the show, and you can just maybe have a small piece of paper with options to select, where you can pick the steel, you can pick the handle material and pick the sheath color, and I can assemble it when you are seeing me, because it's just putting on really screws and taking out the sheath, and bingo, bongo, bongo, it's your knife, like you wanted.
Then you got other people at the table watching you build the knives and put them together and stuff.
I feel like it's showing that, bringing a little bit of the knife making to the show, because I guess you cannot bring the Tormek and sharpen it, and it's a little bit cliche, I guess. And also you cannot grind the knife right in front of them because it's also not possible. So it's the next best thing, you have this assembled knife, and because all of the handle...
Do you also work with like an email list? Do you put out emails and stuff to your customers?
I do. I am actively collecting emails for my mailing list, but I am sending an email when there is something to announce, like a new release of a model, some restock, or a new distributor that is on my list. But it's happening every, I would say, 3 to 4 months, which is way too big of a time gap because people forget,
Yeah. Well, that's what I always hear, like in all the different podcasts and stuff. That it's really underrated, that those mailing lists, that it really does work. It just tends to people like getting a new customer is way harder than sell something to an existing customer.
Yes.
Basically. So you want your customer list as big as possible. So I would imagine if I were a knife maker, I would maybe do something on a show like a QR code that people can get on your mailing list, and then after that, after the show, maybe a couple of weeks after, you just do a giveaway amongst the new entries or whatever.
I kind of separate it, where the mailing list is actually all of the, let's say, leads, where people come to my website, where they are funneled from TikTok or Instagram, and they see the pop-up and they sign up. So I kind of gauge that they have some sort of interest. And then I have a separate private Facebook group with the, let's say, hardcore fans, which have one knife of mine. With the knife, they get a 3D printed QR code where if they want, they scan it and then they can join the Facebook group. So I have the validation. I know that they have one of my knives. They are existing clients.
They're actual customers,
Yes, and then I can have specific posts in my group. I tend to do contests, like photography contests, where I give them discount codes or whatever. And their photographs are like the cover photo for, let's say, the last one was the theme autumn, autumn leaves or whatever. Take a picture of Baltic blades, and there were some really good contestants. So yeah.
That's good. I like that you separate that.
And I feel like a lot of people underrate the power of ability to funnel your people. And where do you funnel those people? The reach that you get on Facebook, the reach that you get on Instagram, the reach that you get on TikTok or whatever. You need to channel it somewhere. And when I funnel them to my website, I try to get the most out of that traffic that is possible. If they don't buy, at least maybe they will sign up to my mailing list. If they don't see me ever on any other social media, I will have a way to reach them, so that my investment with creating social media, I can actually kind of use it. I get something from it. I get the contact with the person. So.
Data, which is valuable.
And you get them on a mailing list, which is not part of that social media thing, in case they leave it or something happens to it, or you don't get the reach.
That is very important, because you can see now with the Instagram and Facebook where you cannot buy ads, and it's very hard to find new followers. When you find those new followers on YouTube or whatever, how do you keep them? Because if you just, you make a stellar YouTube video and you get 1 million views, the algorithm blessed you, and you need somehow to, I want to say monetize, but it's not actually monetize, but like make use of it, of that 1 million views. So if you make another video and it doesn't get 1 million views, you don't reach the same audience, you cannot speak to them again. At least you have a part of them in your mailing list where they agree to be reached out, and you are not dependent on the algorithm.
Exactly.
And also you need to provide some value. I feel like I sometimes I feel like I see on Instagram, or I do myself, where people just post, a picture of their knife, like I did today. Just post a picture or a reel of your knife, and why should somebody care? I don't complain that they don't perform sometimes, but what value I'm actually providing? Why people should watch me? Why? And I feel like that is also oftentimes missed out in marketing, especially with knife makers, where they make beautiful Damascus knife, but they don't have a reasoning why people should care. Okay, it looks cool, but yeah, why they should care?
But talking about Damascus blades, do you ever do Damascus blades?
I have forged a little bit, but I have never done any Damascus. And I have only bought some billets of Sanmai and Kumai, and I did some knives that took a lot of time, and I am not happy enough with them, and I see some faults with them. So they are basically frozen projects.
But what if we do a collaboration when you come to Austria in May? What if you come by our shop and we forge some Damascus and we make like a small batch of Damascus?
That would be so cool.
Baltic plates, X, Salzburger Messerschmied, and then you do like a small run of whatever knives you want to build.
Snake knives.
Or small
Tactical steak knives.
No, but the small EDCs, for instance, or the hunting knives.
Yeah,
right?
that the only prerequisite for me would be that the billets need to have consistent thickness of, pretty consistent thickness, and that's about it. And then I can work with it, and I can create, in my style, the knives that are modular in a way that all of the Kydex sheets fit, and they don't scratch the sides of the blade, and all of the handles fit. Mm-hmm. And that is the only prerequisite.
Yeah, but it's easy. We have a rolling mill and 2 surface grinders. So we can...
You have 2 surface grinders?
Yeah, we have 2.
When are you getting a Blanchard grinder?
We don't need one anymore because we bought a big surface grinder.
I would love to have a surface grinder. Where do you find those? Is it like Surplex, Machine Seeker, or Contacts?
No, yeah, we bought it. We bought it at an auction. Actually, the second one, the big one. There was a company that's been closed down, and we bought it at an auction. So they've been auctioning off all their machines and equipment, and we bought it.
But it's like a third-party company that does the auctioning of these.
Yes.
And I want to know what's the company, so I can say, hey.
Okay, the company is called Aurena. It's an Austrian company, and they do like all these auctions for big companies that went bankrupt, and they sell all their stuff.
You got me searching that thing all the time now.
Yeah, we do too.
And have you often bought from them? Okay,
yes.
I have heard some horror stories with these like liquidation auctions where people buy like fancy machines, and they open, let's say, the electrical cabinet, and everything has been ripped out, and because maybe there are some valuable things inside, and you have just this piece of junk machine that has never been run and cannot be run. Have you heard any of these things, or can you go to the site and just look at the machine and test it, or is it?
Yeah, usually there's like 1 or 2 days where you can look at the machine, but we've never done that. So we bought it and then we went there to pick it up. But there was never anything wrong with the machines we bought.
So sight unseen, you are just going, oh, nice pictures. I want this surface grinder. Click, 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 click.
Yeah, usually there's more than one picture, and then of course you do some research. You research the company. You look you do some research on what they've been doing and what they've been building and why they went bankrupt, when they went bankrupt, and whatever. And then you decide to bid on the machine or not. I mean. But it's an auction. Of course, there's always some kind of trust involved, right? But there was never anything wrong. I mean, you have to be there to pick it up. Do you have a certain time frame where you can pick it up?
That's the tough part.
That's the tough part, yeah, because you have like 1 or 2 days to pick up your machine, and everything has to be there, like a forklift, a trailer, whatever. So that's the stressful part.
That sounds terrible. That sounds so stressful. How do I ship it to Lithuania?
I mean, with the surface grinder, we had to wait like 3 or 4 hours for the forklift to be available. So we've been just standing there waiting for the forklift.
Terrible.
You have to have some time if you want to pick up your machine. But other than that, everything was fine. I don't know how many, but at least 5 to 10 machines.
The horror stories are the ones that survive. No one is going on the internet and like, oh, this went so well that everything was just as, no one cares. It's just, I got my machine, yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. And then if one of those horror stories occurs, then, that they'll take over.
So Albert's best deal by far was the hardness tester, I think, right?
Yeah, but the hardness tester, we did not buy at an auction. The hardness tester we bought this was a coincidence. So there was one power hammer that was online on eBay Kleinanzeigen, which is like an online platform where you can sell stuff, like Craigslist in the US.
Yeah.
And we emailed the guy and asked him for more pictures. And he declined. He said, I'm not going to send you any more pictures. That's the pictures I got. And then we asked him whether or not he has a metal bands on other machines. And he said to us he has tons of machines, but he's not going to send us any pictures because that's just too much work for him.
Holy fuck.
We should just come by and see what he's got. And then we took a plane to Düsseldorf and we drove to Ennepetal, and then there was like 4 big halls packed with machines.
Holy shit.
And there was one surface grinder. Not the surface grinder.
So that was just one of those old-fashioned guys that was like, I'm not like.
No, but you have to understand where he's coming from. If he's selling this shit on auctions all the time, how many people message him and waste hours of time wanting pictures and then another pictures
And we bought shitloads of machines. We wanted to buy one power hammer originally, our 150 kilo Bichet power hammer we wanted to buy. And we ended up buying a whole trailer, like 24 tons of machines.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
a good story. That sounds like a good story.
We bought an 80-ton press. We bought what's it called? A metal lathe, a big one. All kinds of hardness tester, like 3 or 4 drill presses. So 24 tons of machines. We ended up buying 2 power hammers, by the way. And he had, I think, 7. And 2 additional power hammers he had just for spare parts. So disassembled just for spare parts. So yeah. So this was a coincidence because we wanted to buy one and we ended up buying like a whole trailer of machines. But usually we look on our Arena, on this online platform for used machines. Yeah. But we got lucky with the machines we bought.
Was he like buying and selling machines, or he just happened to be getting rid of everything?
No, he was getting rid of everything because he was closing down his shop. He was retiring, and this was a huge, what's it called? Drop forge, die forge. So in German it's called Gesenkschmiede. Cheers,
Finally,
Mr. Baltic Blades,
finally, I was waiting so long.
My God.
And he had like, at the end, he had like 5 employees, but in its prime, the company had, I think, 15 employees, and all these guys were just forging stuff, so drop forging. So he had just the right stuff for us. Of course, he had heavier power hammers, which are too heavy for the kind of forging we do. He had like a 250 kilogram Bichet.
But did you consider it?
For what we, of course we did. We talked about this last week, Andy and I. We said we should have bought this one too.
Yeah.
Just couldn't get it home, right?
Yeah.
So one last question about power hammers, because Fingal Ferguson spilled the beans for you and said that he's getting the
now
now
everyone knows. No, I'm still waiting for my painter guy. He has been on vacation for over a month now. We have all the spare parts here. We new piston rings and everything, new dies. We're just waiting for it to be painted by him, and then we're gonna ship it to Fingal. Yeah, cool. But I've heard that he mentioned on the Hustle and Grind podcast that he's buying our power hammer. Yeah. So
spilled the beans. So Fingal has literally his shop reeks of WFI Euro podcast in every way.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't mention the blower that he bought off me that he likes. That's working. I was pretty bummed, yeah.
No, everything is set up. So the shipping is set up. I talked to my shipping guy. He's going to ship it to Ireland. So everything's set up. But I'm still waiting for the power hammer to be painted. Yeah. So sorry, Fingal.
But it's nice to know that the machine is going to a guy like Fingal. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. We could have, I mean, this machine we could have sold, I think, like 10 times.
He's going to make some beautiful shit out of
there
that.
Was some. Yeah.
So did you go to him, or he found you, or asked you after we did the podcast? Probably.
Yeah,
right?
He asked me. Yeah. And so did like shitloads of other people. But I thought he's the one who should have it. Yeah.
I think we put Baltic Blade to sleep with all the power
I was still drinking because the German words are very rare occasions now.
But Mr. Baltic Blades is going to fall in love with power hammers in May.
I'm
promise you
afraid that I will. I'll just love big machinery. I love surface grinders. I love CNC machines, milling machines. I have never seen a power hammer live, so that would be very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, then you're in for a treat, because at our shop we're gonna see 6.
Yeah, it's like
Make him stand on the slab.
I've been to like 4 blacksmiths that have a power hammer, and they all did the coin thing where they put a coin on it just to show off, and they just fucking whack it.
What's the coin thing?
In size.
What do you do?
They just put a coin on the bed and just whack it just one time, and it'll disintegrate.
I am very excited to see that. And Albert, we need definitely to talk about the possible collaboration.
Sure, let's forge some Damascus and do make some plates out of it.
That would be great.
Yeah.
See, it's already working.
Yeah, got the collaboration, got some tips on what not to do and what to do in the show. I think I'm set up for success, and it's only been 1 year and 11 days till I am full-time, so...
Congratulations. I saw on your Instagram post that you had an anniversary,
yes,
right?
It's
like a week ago or something.
It's 10 days. Yeah, it's on November 1st. It's surreal. It's surreal because the very first show I did here was like 3 weeks in. And I'm still alive after 1 year, not died by starvation. So it's great.
Yeah. Do you still enjoy it?
Do I still enjoy it? Yes. I love the knife making part. I love the small improvements, the lean part. What I hate currently is the... I kind of starting to worry about the cash flow and the money, but what you gonna do, you know? I'm a little bit more naive, so I don't stress about it daily, you know, but I kind of feel like, you know, this yucky feeling where like, shit, I got to worry about some cash, how I'm gonna sell this stuff and etc. But
you know that's a motor, right? You know that worrying about that, the worrying about that is always keeping you like sharp and keeping you innovating and keeping you, I don't know. I felt like that's been the one thing that always I've come to see it as a good thing. If you don't worry about money like every day, basically, you're not doing it right.
And I am starting to get that. And like the part that nobody's speaking about is like, and I talked with my buddy who has also a business in Lithuania, but it's a retail business, where you not only have to have this, you know, motor running, where you have to think about money, but it actually needs to be constantly accelerating by a little bit. So you are, you know, running away from the inflation, raising taxes and etc. So you need to think. And it's kind of nice because then it makes me do more stuff that is more beneficial to the business. Like today I did like 10 TikToks, which bring in it. I have huge returns on it compared to other social media, but it's very tiring. But you know, you have to do what you have to do.
Yeah, I get it.
20 bucks.
20 bucks.
Oh, that's so bad. Keith, Jesus Christ.
Come on. Yeah, it's a family show.
And to be fair, you Lithuanians are a tough breed. So it'll be fine.
It will be fine. Yeah, but I'm still, you know, I'm so grateful every day that I get to do this stuff. And I'm full of joy in the morning. Of course, I am not a morning person, so I reek of death, but still, I love it. I love every part of it, even the parts that I don't like it just because I chose to do it, you know? And it's just so rewarding. I cannot even compare to a normal day job where you work for somebody else. And maybe I don't work when somebody is telling me what to do.
Well, it's look at it like this: like when you're suffering on your job, working for someone else, you're suffering. You know,
Yes.
for someone else, and now when you're suffering, at least it's because you chose to do so.
You're suffering for
Yes,
yourself.
exactly. It changes everything. It changes the
Of
context,
course.
you know.
Yeah,
And
it does.
yeah, it's
That makes it almost enjoyable.
yes, you have to enjoy it because there is no other way. But I just don't regret that I pulled the trigger and I went for this. And yeah. Sometimes it feels like it's hard, but it's rewardingly hard.
So when you started a year ago, did you have like some kind of goal, or like, I'm gonna try this for a year and I want to be at this point, or did you just dive in?
I went over the line just because I was done with my day job. You know, I was 31, I think, 32, 31. Yeah, and I feel like I'm wasting my life. You know, it's like I don't do what I enjoy. I do what I hate. I hate doing that, and it's like the biggest part of the week. So I was very lucky that I did this as a hobby with a mindset of a business for the last 5 years. And I had some financial pillowing, you know, safety net. So, but on other hand, you know, I went out where I did not have a clear marketing or idea direction. What is Baltic Blades? What do we do at Baltic Blades? And I see a lot of hobbyist knife makers that don't have this, you know, what I do, what is my specialty, and that is totally fine. But when this is your income, people who watch my stuff, they need very easily to comprehend what Baltic Blades is about. What is the message? Do the knives look all coherent with coherent style? And it also needs to be authentic to myself, to be something that I like, that I can stand behind. So when I do the TikToks that I don't like, I don't instantly seem disingenuous. I seem like I am actually talking what I do care about. And that was a really hard thing to do for me. I remember we were sitting in the kitchen with my fiance, my hands on my head, and I'm like thinking, look there, what am I? You know, these existential questions. What am I? What do I like?
Yeah.
What feels authentic, Paulius? And how can I put these things into Baltic Blades to make other people understand what I want to tell? And this was the hardest thing I have done in this business. Yeah, finding the answers to these questions.
And how did you find them?
Right there, sitting in the kitchen, we were just spitballing ideas. One of the not so great ideas where I am really into alternative music, heavy music, you know, you can draw a lot of inspiration into that. And I'm very passionate about the artistic side of that. And maybe I could transcend that and transform knives with creating some, you know, tributes to some albums or something like that, and market those to the people that I know, you know, the metalheads or whatever you would call those. And I did not feel like it was sticking, and it came to us like, you know, it's like lightning strike. It was military knives, because I have quite conservative views. I am also a part of a voluntary how do you say it, like civilian militia in my city.
Oh Lord.
It's I don't know how to you know, translate it, but it's like basically on your free time you do military shit, and it's pretty interesting with patriotic people. And
you march around with pitchforks and set stuff on fire.
Yeah, and do some.
He's just when if Putin ever decides to go further, he's ready.
Yes, and I would highly suggest everybody who is listening to go and read my shipping details on my website. You will find some. Yeah,
I saw this.
I love them. Yeah,
I thought about you the other day. I was listening to a fucking it's like a history type thing, and they spent like an hour discussing the the Lithuanian partisans.
Yep.
In that, like, I don't know the exact date when they did it, but it was like 1944 to like, I think it's like 10 years or something, where you guys
something like that.
Fucking fought guerrilla warfare against the Red Army.
Mm-hmm. We were occupied by the Soviet Union.
Yeah,
and
it was...
and it was a very interesting time, and like we have a lot of information.
Time.
Yes, actually, there is a bunker. They were located in bunkers in woods. There is a bunker like 3 kilometers from my house where I work on nights.
Awesome.
Yeah, and you know, it was a very tough time, and it was a losing battle, and also I need to acknowledge that there were some very shitty people who supported the Red Army, who also tried to infiltrate the partisans and just wreak havoc on civilian lives.
No, but it's just I think you guys have that in common with some of the Polish. You know, just the sheer amount of fucking courage you guys had. It was insane. It was just out of this world.
Yeah, and I feel, you know, with history, I have an interesting contact. Like, I understand what you are saying, and I understand the big things that the previous generations did, but I also feel at the same time really disconnected from them, just because they grew up under the suppression of, the Red Army, and they grew up in a scarce society, and they were thinking differently than I am thinking now, and I'm very proud of what they did, but I don't feel like I cannot take any credit for that, and I cannot
no, it's not about credit, but it's just I think that courage like that should be. I think that stories like that need to be told everywhere and more. Because it's really how do you say that? It stands way out of what the normal people did, basically.
Oh yes,
when they faced the same type of terror.
And I feel like you should also maybe try and find and listen something about book smugglers in Lithuania when it was before the very first World War, where we also were occupied by Russia, and our language was forbidden, and people were smuggling printed books from other countries that were illegally printed in Lithuanian language, and they smuggled in those for penalty of death, to bring in for kids to read and to learn our language. So it was very tough time. But not to get into politics way too much, I found out
it's not about politics. It's about the Lithuanians being a tough breed, basically. Yeah.
Thanks. So I want to support those people who are defending us. And we have big problem with immigrants from Belarus that are the fifth column and are a huge national security problem. But I feel like I want to support our troops because they will defend any citizen of Lithuania, and it doesn't fucking matter are they pro-Lithuanian, pro-bad political party, pro-good political party. They don't care. They will fight for us equally, and I want to support this cause. So I am making knives for them. I'm applying big discounts for any people who can prove that they are serving in any of these areas of military, and they can buy knives cheaply, more cheap, I would say. and also I have a big thing going with a battalion of Lithuanian military where I will make these knives that they gift as a parting gift for people who end their service, which is I feel like it's it's so fulfilling. It's so fulfilling when you find your voice, you find what Baltic Blades is about, and then some people reach out to you and say, you make cool shit, maybe you can make some knives that we gift away for people who serve our country. And
there's honor in that.
Yes.
I like it.
So is that like a special edition knife that you make for them? Or?
custom run by their specification. I created a commercial offer, but I also like read the battalion philosophy, where they have like what does it mean to be a part of that battalion, you know? And I try to implement visual aspects that, you know, kind of show off the properties that you should have. And these will be two models of knives. One will have, the blade will be 18 centimeters long, just the blade, and the other will be 25 centimeters, just the blade. So these will be really huge, really huge to make. And yeah, numerous of them to make, but I'm not afraid of the challenge. I'm more like, this is something I haven't dreamed of, you know, to do within the first year.
But it's a new model, right? It's not a model you have on your website.
No, nobody has seen it, and it will be, you know, because it's implementing these specific properties of the battalion philosophy. This will stay. This won't be a commercially offered model. I want for the people who will get this to get something really special.
Special, yeah, I see that. When is that gonna be available? Or when do you want to have the first batch finished? Or put it differently, when can we see it on Instagram?
Next year. Next year, the first half of the year, because to do that, I need to upgrade my workshop, upgrade my grinding setup, because the blades are super long, and I grind everything with a jig to make it consistent. And of course, they won't have guided sheets. They will have leather sheets, because they wanted leather sheets to make it extra fancy, you know. And there will be ironwood handles, and I will make them from stainless steel, so the people who go into retirement don't have to take care of them. They can just, you know, feel like they have this really massive knife that looks really cool.
You're gonna do the leather work yourself too, huh?
Oh no, about the leather work, I hate it.
No.
I really hate it. And because it's flimsy, look, it doesn't go like you want it to go. And I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who does phenomenal leather work, and he did some leather work in the past for me. So I will ask him to do those, and I will also make, of course, custom packaging. I need to order the die cutters for the custom boxes, magnetic boxes, inserts. We are talking about like 40 something centimeters long knife, so it will be everything custom, but that will be so cool.
Yeah, at some point it doesn't make any sense anymore to do all the stuff yourself, right? Especially the leather work. If you go to a professional leather worker, it takes him like half an hour to do a sheath. And if you're a knife maker, it takes you like 4 to 5 hours to do one. So it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, your time is more valuable than trying to make
the guy that does it very quickly, and the very first sheath is the most expensive, because he makes a pattern out of it, and then it's easy going for him. And they are not very expensive, those sheets, and they are very high quality, like really. And the attention to detail, I never have any complaints to him about what he does, and I love the thing about him, where you don't have to complain, you don't have to tell, wrap every sheet individually so they don't rub against each other when you ship it to them. He thinks about those small details, and he's a real pro. And yeah, I will just go with him. But what I'm scared about is actually heat treating those, because I will have quite a few huge blades to heat treat, and all of them will be stainless. I think I will need a new hardening kiln to get, so they fit at least 5 of those huge knives fit in my kiln, and I need to get a new setup of.
What kind of steel?
I'm going with N690. I thought about going with ABL, but it's pretty hard to source, or if you want to source it directly from Udelholm, you need to get like 500 kilos of it. So I feel like 5mm or 4.5mm thick N690, temperate on the lower 60, like 59, 58, would be really good middle point, as these knives will be they're not very wide. They're like they're not like daggers, but like something like bayonetal like-ish, military style with piercing action. So the edges will be quite thick, so I'm not worried about the toughness problem. So it will be pretty hard to heat treat.
No, it's a good choice. I think it's a good choice, and most of those are not going to be people are going to be using a bead on it. They're gonna. I mean, you still want your knife to be able to cut and perform. It's got your name on it,
but
those are more of like
a
showpiece.
If somebody from those people will try to use it, they will use it in a very, show-off way. Where look, I can chop this pig's head off, or whatever, whatever they do when they are partying or whatever. So it needs to perform.
Pry the store open.
Terrible. 25 centimeters of leverage. I don't think a carbide hammer will help to straighten that out.
So, what's the point about heat treating? Do you have to get a new heat treatment oven?
Yeah, I feel like because with a envelope, it would not fit. Only maybe diagonally, but then I would have to heat treat single knife at a time. And with stainless, soaking times, and 4.5 millimeters or 5 thickness, it tends to get like 15 to 20 minutes or even more, which is, would take forever. So maybe I could get something way longer, something 50 centimeters would be perfect, or 55. So I might be looking into that, but this job is like, from this job, I can buy the equipment that I need, which is the nice part,
All right, how about I heat treat them for you?
We can heat treat them for you, yeah, but we don't use foil anymore.
Condor.
Usually we use Scale X, the one in the can. It's very similar to Condor, but it comes in a can.
I used Scale X and I really liked it. It smells. Some people I have Condor, but I haven't used it. Does it smell similar? I love the smell.
Yeah.
People hate it, but I like the smell.
I hate it.
But I also like, in my defense, I also like the smell of grinding micarta. I don't know why. Yes, people hate it, but I love it.
But then you're just a weird guy when it comes to smelling.
He likes to suffer.
The very first run of knives that I ever did were micarta handles, and I spent like 3 days on the grinder, full days grinding the micarta, and I was always covered in dust. And at the time, it didn't smell nice, but now I am like reminiscent of the time when I did my batch. Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
So, I feel like the Scale X is kind of just a canned version of Condorcel. And when you read the graphs on Scale X or Condorcel, I saw that the soaking time for N690 temperature, which is 1050 degrees, something like that, is around 10 to 15 minutes, because this is what the coating can sustain. And for the thicker stock that is 4.5 millimeters or maybe 5, that would be longer, and it's out of spec for the coating.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
I was looking at that, and I was doing some experiments, and I must say, I really like the Scale X version. It's so easy to apply. It's easy to apply multiple coats.
Yeah.
You just hang the knives and you just spray them, and hopefully you don't breathe in the Condorcel in the air or the Scale X in the air, but it's really nice. It's way better than the bags, foil bags.
Where'd you get yours?
I would like to say from knifematerial.at, but actually from other reseller, which I won't mention. And it's not Huber. I did not betray you, Keith. It's Xerxes.
No, I just didn't know how many people are actually carrying
I just Googled, because on my website I have all of the retailers. I just went and looked for the lowest price. I am from the cheap part of Lithuania.
Okay. Yeah.
We buy ours at Knife Material.
As everyone should.
Yeah, exactly. We buy boxes or cases.
Is it cheaper to buy a box than one can? No.
No. No, it's not. No.
You're not even giving it a little discount, Keith. What the fuck?
No, everything I have is already priced very fairly.
Not 1 cent. No, because Keith is greedy, but it's all right. Shipping is fast.
Does work for Europe then?
I don't know if actually have had to pay for it.
Keith is a lot of things. He's not greedy.
I know. I was kidding.
I think you actually haven't had to pay for it because we've just been trading other stuff for it.
Yeah, I know.
Steel and.
I was just kidding, man.
I know. Last time I saved his ass.
Nah, come on.
You're done.
No, we got an awesome deal. The best deal ever. So buy all your stuff at knifematerial.at. Best prices, best stuff, best guy ever. So
when do you need the blow motors? Are you almost done with that forge? Are you still waiting on the bricks?
No, we got the bricks and we got the top bricks and everything set up. Now we have to build a base for it. Yeah.
Like a stand.
A stand, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Is it going to be done this year or?
Come on, give me a break.
When do you make knives? Are you just a retail shop for power hammers?
Between fixing machines
and classes, or do the class people make the knives and you just sell the knives?
That's what we do. Yeah, that's actually a joke we make. So because on Sunday they're done with their knives, and we usually say you paid for the class, not for the knife. So if you, so the knives stay. Yeah.
You are the cheap one.
Yeah, but now we had a huge class. We had 11 people, more than we ever had before. Oh my God!
How do you manage? How do you manage 11 people?
Yeah, it was super stressful. To be honest, it was like 3 days of a lot of work. So we're running in circles. But now I fucked up, and next weekend we have a class with 14 people.
Oh my God!
By accident over.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, you did.
I overbooked the class.
You don't know when to say stop or no, Albert.
No, I made a mistake. I forgot that I accepted 4 more people. So, and Andy was texting me this morning, said, "Albert, you fucked up." I said, "What?" And there's 14 people coming.
But
but we'll manage. I mean, I was joking last weekend that we managed to do 11, and I said next week's gonna be 15. But it was supposed to be a joke, but now it turns out that we're gonna have 14 people.
That's only like 2 people per power hammer.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah. So yeah. No, we'll manage. But it's gonna be stressful. Yeah.
So what's the part that slows you down? The grinding when you gotta do all 14 blades?
Yeah, usually it's the grinding. I mean, we only have like 5 belt grinders, so that's a bottleneck. The forging, not so much, because the forging is very fast and everything. And we usually do, when we have like that many people, we do like 2 groups. One group starts in the grinding room preparing the Damascus billet, and the other group starts with the already prepared Damascus billets. And then they change positions. But the grinding in the grinding room usually that's where the bottleneck is at, because we as I said, we only have 5 grinders, and they all have to do their blanks and everything in there. Yeah. Heat treatment is also an issue, because you can't heat treat like 14 blades at once, right? So you have to do them in batches of 5 at the most. So heat treating is also an issue where we lose time. But we'll manage. I mean, we will stay late and start early. Then we're gonna be fine, I hope.
So that the way you do the Damascus definitely saves you guys work and time and gets everybody like going on their knives right away. I've been to a few classes and everybody makes their own individual billet, which it's cool, like to get to do that at some point. But when you're in a big class like that, it moves things along. Everybody works on the billets as a group, and they cut the size out that they need, right?
Exactly, yeah. But it doesn't really make sense. I mean, we have power hammers. Why would I forge like one Damascus billet that's like 30 centimeters long? That's ridiculous. No one ever works that way, right? So they also kind of enjoy handling long stuff. That's what she said. But
Jesus Christ.
Long billets. I mean, it gets way more impressive if you're working on a Damascus billet that's like 1 meter long, right? It's also much more challenging.
Hard to handle. You need to use your both hands.
Come on. That's
I mean, it keeps sagging down at the tip. You got to straighten it out
You
all the
have to
time.
hit it hard to make it straight.
it gets all crooked, right? But
And do you have any maybe remarks when you made a lot of classes, in your time? Maybe do you see what people struggle the most to get? Maybe what is the hardest skill for them?
That last scratch out.
yeah,
Hand
hand
sanding.
sanding.
Oh, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Talk about something that's realistic.
I know. You mean for you? No. No, but they all have to do
Really?
hand sanding.
Oh, I won't book a class then. You have to pay to do hand sanding on your knife.
Okay, hell.
It will be a belt finish.
Fucking Scotch-Brite finish is fine.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not. It looks way better if it's hand sanded.
Definitely, especially Damascus.
Damascus, yeah, of course. Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
And the second worst thing is picking handle material.
Yeah, picking handle material, because Keith has such an amazing line of handle material. So that also takes them usually an hour, even longer, to pick their handle
I wouldn't
material.
have guessed. I would say like grinding, even with a jig, sometimes is hard. But do they do?
No, but grinding is also hard for them. I agree. I mean, but we help them, right? We're in the grinding room with them, and if they struggle with the grinding,
Do they use
we help
jigs?
them. No, we all grind freehand, but we do the final grinding for them. So, the post heat treatment grinding we do. So, because we only preheat treat grind our knives, then we heat treat them, and then we do the final grinding after heat treatment.
So the students do only the preheat treat grinding?
Yeah, they do the preheat treat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's hard to fuck up something when you do a steep bevel,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And usually they do kitchen knives, which we grind almost to a zero edge, right? So heat is an issue, so you have to be very careful not to overheat the blade, and you can't let the students do that, because they usually overheat the blade in an instant, right? So.
And do the students make knives from Apex Ultra?
If students do a class with us for the second time, they can do an Apex Ultra blade, yeah. Like
I was
laminate.
just thinking about the hand sanding issue, where they struggle to hand sand.
Yeah.
That's a 5-day class.
4 days hand sanding.
No, but we don't do monosteel Apex Ultra blades. We only use Apex Ultra in laminates. So either Damascus or stainless, and then the hand sanding is not that big of an issue, right? Because they usually the post heat, as I said, we do the post heat treatment grinding, and they get a very nice 240 grit finish. So hand sanding is not, even with Apex, it's not that big of an issue.
So when you have like 14 students and you are only 2 grinding their knives, how long does it take for you to grind out those knives?
The finish grind, you mean?
Before they start hand sanding. Because it's kind of...
There's 2 of them grinding.
Yeah. There's 2 of us, yeah. But it usually takes me like, to do the finish grind on a chef knife, I'd say 10 minutes. On a 25 centimeters.
And what's the
240 grit usually.
That sounds really efficient. That sounds really quick,
But we don't do a full flat grind. Usually we leave the forge scale on there at the top of the blade, right? So at the spine, like 1 or 2 centimeters. So it also makes it easier to hand sand, of course, because then you only have to hand sand like half the surface area. So that's why it's that quick. But usually, I mean, I timed it once. A preheat treatment grind usually takes me 3 minutes per blade, and the post heat treatment like 10 or 15 minutes. But it was a stainless steel blade, so that's a bit, and the full flat, so that's a bit more to grind. But yeah.
And do these students? They don't forge the knives itself. They only make the bar and do stock removal from the bar.
Yeah, they make the steel exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, makes sense now. Right. Better to envision, how the class is being run.
Yeah, but if they come for the first time, if they come for the second time or third time or whatever, they can do more complicated stuff. So they can do laminates. They can do different kinds of Damascus. They can forge the blade into shape. They can do a hidden tang knife, because usually when you're here for the first time, you only can do a full tang blade. So if you come for the second or third time, you can do more
And
complicated
did you
stuff.
maybe had some instances where a student comes in like fourth time, fifth time, and they come up with this, crazy grandiose idea where you're like, shit, how are we going to make this mosaic, integral, whatever? Or you did not have to?
No, mosaic, they can't do mosaic Damascus in a normal class. So if you want to do a mosaic, we have one guy now. I said it on the podcast like a few episodes ago. So we opened our forge to other knife makers and bladesmiths. So we have one guy who's doing mosaic Damascus or making mosaic Damascus at our shop, but he has to come like 4 or 5 times, right? Because that's just how long it takes to do mosaic Damascus. So, but that's a special class. That's not a normal Damascus forging class. So everything you want to forge in the Damascus forging class has to be, you have to be able to do it in one day, right? So you can do like a laminate in one day. You can do a twist Damascus in one day. You can do a raindrop, but you can't do like a mosaic Damascus plate because that takes like 4 days to forge, right?
And do students come in with like these projects and ideas, or you are just more of like suggesting what for them to do, and they are like just here for the experience?
In almost every class, there's one guy who comes with a very special idea, which is very hard to do. Yeah, like we had one guy. I hate doing tantos, for instance, right? And there was 2 guys already who wanted to do a tanto with a false edge, and that's hard to grind. It takes way longer than a standard chef knife or a standard bushcraft or hunting knife. This has to be a small group then, if you want to be able to finish the blade. So luckily we were only like 4 or 5 students back then. We were able to do that. But if there's like 14 people, then you can't do a tanto with a false edge and fancy blade shape and whatever, right? So yeah, then we have to suggest something else. Yeah, but usually they can do what they want, or they can build the knife they want.
Well, so hopefully you have a couple people in that class of 14 that have taken your class once before, because they usually like to take a little bit of charge in the class, and they know the shop a little bit and give advice and tell people where everything is. There will be 4 people who have done a class with us in this 14 people class next weekend. So we already know 4 who already did a class with us. So that's going to be... Even like simple crap where somebody doesn't know what the sandpaper is, just to have somebody else that already knows the shop a little bit.
Yeah, or knows the machines, right? Or how to handle the machines.
Turn it on.
For the surface grinder, for instance, like there will be 4 people in our class next weekend who already have been working on a surface or on our surface grinder.
You should just hire Keith to help out.
I wouldn't let anybody touch my surface grinder if I had one.
Same.
Come in for a class and fuck that thing up.
It's so strange that you just let them run wild with the surface grinder. Just go and ram it into the...
It's like Wild West in there.
Yes.
There's like 7 power hammers going 5 grinders, people banging out mosaic Damascus.
To be honest, that sounds terrible, because some of those have like no experience with like industrial machinery. And they're like, oh, I will just try and dunk it harder now, the hot piece of steel.
No, they're not allowed to use any machine they want, right? So they get an introduction, and we show them how the machine's supposed to be operated and everything. So they're not allowed to turn on the machines by themselves, right? So if they turn on a machine they're not familiar with, they have to ask us first, and then we show them how.
But you are trusting them to use it the way that you told them to use it, and you are just going away and look, there are 14 of them, and you are just 2.
I know. Yeah, but that's industrial machines. You can't, I mean, of course you can't break every machine, but usually
I think he means tougher. More like break an arm or break a leg or whatever.
Exactly. Not like, oh, I will regrind your table on your surface grinder that is crooked. But they will hurt themselves.
You have to remember, this isn't a group of like teenagers. All these people paid decent money to be there, and they're interested in handwork. They know.
Yeah, they all have to sign the paperwork, right? So that they can't sue. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we have like I think it's a 3-page document now, which they have to sign. So yeah.
Of course, you don't want to be fucking responsible.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you don't get those people who are like pretty, not responsible, and I know how to use it. Don't tell me how to use it.
No.
Yeah, now you got to tell us about people that got hurt. What's like some of the stupid things besides everybody cut themselves probably?
Yeah, that's all that's happened so far.
Accidental pedicures on the grinder, maybe.
No.
Nobody fucking knuckle to the grinder.
Because they're supposed to use the push stick, right? So
dropped a knife on their foot.
No, but I mean, what actually happened, which happens like every other class or so, is that people cut themselves. Yeah, but we're very cautious, right? So there's two guys, there's one shop, and we watch them when they're working, when they're welding, when they're forging, when they're grinding. So yeah.
Oh wait, and you are in your new shop, but you told that you allow other makers into the shop, right?
Yeah, we just started with that. We have one guy who's forging his own Damascus in our shop. And I was talking to Andy, we charge very little money. We charge like 350 euros per day. And the guy paid like 500 euros in total, because 150 for steel and materials and stuff. He made steel worth 1,500 euros. So just the steel, right? So he made a profit of 1,000 euros per day.
If you are lucky, you can also ruin it, and you can also make it good, but you cannot sell it maybe. So it's on him. You don't count other people money, Albert.
Yeah, but I mean, if I'm not counting what the final knife is worth. I was counting centimeters of Damascus,
the steel,
just the value of the steel he made. And since we bought our press, we didn't have single delamination in our Damascus, right? So the Damascus has a very consistent quality. And I was talking to Andy that we might be too cheap, because if this guy can generate like 1,000 euros of winnings a day, that's a lot of money. I mean, that's not even what we make, right? So,
and aren't you? Do you have maybe camera set up? Because I remember in the past shop, people went in and moved your stuff.
Yeah, we have 2 cameras now in our new shop. Yeah, and they're recording when we turn them on, which is for classes it's important, because we wanted to have proof.
Somebody gets hurt too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That it's not our fault.
I was listening to the podcast where you told that other people went into your shop looking for shit and stealing stuff. I was so furious.
Yeah.
I'm so, in my workshop, everything has its place. And if I cannot find something, I am fucking furious because maybe I misplaced it, or maybe somebody took it. And if somebody took it, how dare they? and it's like drive me crazy. And in your case, like you're seeing on the cameras, like somebody going through your shit and then saying to you, no, I did not went into your shop. It would be, I don't know, it would be different talk.
No, we were furious as well. I mean, because we didn't expect that to happen, right? We trusted these people, and that was happening when we were moving out, right? So we had most of our stuff already in our new shop, but the camera in the old shop, and then we saw on the camera people going through our stuff. So yeah, we were sad and furious and frustrated and everything back then. But now everything's good. No one else can enter our shop. There's only 2 people with access to our shop, and that's Andy and me. So everything's good now. Yeah, but of course we were furious. Yeah.
I'm sure you're more productive too. There's less. You had a lot of people that came by when they were done or they were bored, wanted to see what you were doing, and
less distractions. That's right. Yeah, or fewer distractions. Yeah, that's right.
Or fuckery, as Matt says.
That's the correct term. Stop dicking around. It's getting cold in my shop. God damn it.
Yeah, my
How
toes are
cold is
freezing.
there?
That's nothing compared to what you guys.
Today it was 11 degrees in the shop, and it was 2 degrees outside. But I have a very nice Swedish kiln, so I just put in some wood inside, and it's 21 already. So
Nice.
yeah, pretty lovely wood stove. Way cheaper.
Yeah, I didn't put any wood in since we started the podcast. So
Oh,
it's
you are in
getting
your
cold
shop,
here.
both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the new shop. Yeah. So Matt and Albert, you guys are getting a package from me. So watch the post office,
Shit.
the post box. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, it's a
What
surprise.
are we getting? Or is it a surprise?
How about me?
Matt won't be able to
What
sleep
is
for a
it?
week.
Damn it.
I don't know. What could?
When
the next
are we
3 to 4
getting it?
days.
Bag of dicks, probably.
Ah, okay.
Your favorite.
I love me a good bag of dicks.
You'd like that, right?
That's what she said.
But guys, before we forget, this is our anniversary episode, right? So that's our 50th episode.
Oh, wow.
50.
Congratulations to you. I did not think you made it this far. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Cheers for 50 more.
I've been on for like 12, so I can't.
Yeah.
You were in France. That's...
Man, the 50th episode, and we don't have the recording for Pelican Paste because I can't get my phone to connect to my computer out here for some
Oh,
reason.
that's so bad. So bad. I am still salty that you only played mine once.
Yeah. Salty.
As you know, you did not give any directions. Like you just told, be creative, go apeshit, you know. And I just did like what maybe Matt would like, you know, a lot of innuendos, a lot of some jokes, some dirty jokes, but also selling it. And then you say, nah, it's not something that we would like. It's like, but you did not tell me what you would like.
No, we liked it. We just didn't pick yours. That's all.
Fucking hell, I don't know. It didn't even leave my. No,
It was Matt's idea. Matt didn't
course,
want it.
Matt-
I
I'll
wanted it.
hold
Matt
it
said
up.
no.
I don't remember the ad, so that nope. The other one was very good.
I can't even play it for you.
Keep it at that. But we don't have an ad at all
The one
right
that your
now,
brother
so
did?
someone has to talk about Pelican Paste.
So Matt, just go, Matt. What do you put on
I
your
just
hands
did.
when you are chafing?
Pelican Paste. I'm covered in it 24/7.
The oil or the soft
Everything.
paste? Or which, you just mix it up.
put
Chop hands,
in the
everything.
bowl and just smear everything over my godly body.
Yeah, so the next time you're lathering up your knife handle, you can think of
naked.
that picture Matt just sent you.
It's a good one.
My read would be way better now.
I had somebody email me and asked if they could buy the plans for the Apollo Forge off of me and then just make some to sell.
That was
on the side.
mind-boggling to me. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, come on, man. Can you give me the plans of your product so I can sell them on my own? Like, yeah, sure. Go ahead, man.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
They'll be the one that's like starts to email you if you can make some changes on this plan for me and send it to me when you finish.
Insane. Did you respond?
I told him that it's not my product to be able to give to him in the first place to remake, that he would have to talk to Brian about that. And surprisingly, he sent me a screenshot that he had already talked to Brian, and Brian said, we have a guy in Austria that takes care of that. Why don't you message him?
Don't redirect them back to Brian. That's not...
Just change the plan, add some nonsensical, super long screws, change the dimensions in a way that it looks okay, but it doesn't work, and just sell it to him for like couple €1,000, and he will have not working.
No, like when you see those belt grinders on Wish and they're like the size of a soda can, maybe.
Exactly.
Here's the link. Here's the link, and tell the people that you were going to sell it to buy them off me, please. Thank you very much.
Well, Mr. Baltic Blades, do you have any shameless ads or anything you want to say before we kick you off the year?
First of all, it was an honor to be a third-time guest. I feel like I'm like in between Martin Huber and Benjamin Camon on the guest frequency, which is an honor. I break your balls on the DMs, sometimes justified, sometimes for fun. And your show is getting better, but that's enough compliments from my side to your side. For people who don't know me, they can find me on balticblades.com on the internet, Baltic Blades on Facebook, Baltic Blades on Instagram, Baltic Blades on TikTok, and any other social media. I'm also on X, I'm on Threads, and I don't maintain those. And I don't know, it's just only makers are probably listening to this. So you can DM me, ask me about my processes. I am quite open about those. And I am all about suggesting small, easy improvements in your workshop to make your life easier, because nobody likes to work hard, to hustle and grind. They like to be easy peasy. Where are my money? So I'm going that route. So yeah, that's about it. It was a great show. I love talking to you guys.
Likewise, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining us again.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We will talk to you all next week.
Titties.
Bye.
Yep.
It's never too soon for titties.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
Titties. Titties.